All right, guys, welcome back to another episode. I'm in a different setting today, and I'm joined with Carlos Garcia. How are you doing, man?
Hey, Arjun, nice to talk to you today and excited about our conversation. I'm doing fantastic.
Absolutely amazing. Where are you based currently?
So I am physically in Miami, Florida, but I work virtually across the world with any of the customers that have needs that I may be able to help them with.
Amazing. So, yeah, I guess we can jump right into it and maybe tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Sure. Well, I'll make my long story short of my personal journey. I was a corporate robot for 15 years in the banking world and got bored of that world. I felt like I did not have enough freedom. Last year, I decided to go independent, and a lot of my background was in sales, sales coaching, direct sales myself, leadership, etc. And so I kind of took all of the skills that I've been able to build up in my work experience and start my own business. It's called Exceed Sales. And our mission is to really help people sell more, better, and faster using CRM technology. And of course, leveling up their selling skills. So I'm using all of my background knowledge and experience around how I use technology in the past to be effective in selling. And then also the life skills and the people's human skills in order to do that.
I like how you mentioned corporate robot. Um, like my brain could go into so many directions, but I'm curious what you guys were selling, and then I guess what was the peak and what did you use to exceed and elevate those sales?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's not connected to e-commerce, but again, concepts are universal. So I was in the banking world. I was worked for a major bank for 15 years, and the main skills that I learned is about relationship building, understanding customer journey, what it takes for someone to make a decision to purchase a product or service. And because in the finance world, we were selling more financial instruments, products, services, whether it's banking, investments, lending, mortgage, other stuff, we needed to sell the idea of feeling safe, right? Because, if I'm going to put my money in your bank, I want to know that you're going to protect me. If I'm going to invest money, I want to know that I'm hedging myself against potential risk or exposure. If I'm going to borrow money from you, I want to get the best deal. And I want to know that what I'm borrowing is going to help me grow my business or achieve my personal life dreams and goals. And so I think what I learned from it is through technology, we used a lot of CRM technology to build relationships, to nurture existing and search and source potential clients, analyze and understand industry trends. And I was mostly focused on small business. So I was a small business banker, and I was a lender, coach, trainer, etc. And we used a lot of technology to help us understand who our ideal client is, so we can better target our message and then match a product or a solution that would help them grow their businesses. So lending was a very primary focus for us, but we used reporting insights, trends, understood behaviors so that we can better cater a message that would help them come in the door and have a conversation with us.
Amazing. I like that. Was there a particular CRM that you guys were using that is available on the market, or was it a
Yeah.
custom solution to you guys?
Yeah, for that corporation, they were using Salesforce. Salesforce is probably the more enterprise solution for very large businesses. You're talking about middle market plus, but not sure what the audience is here. But for small business, sometimes Salesforce could be outside of someone's budget. So there are some smaller scale solutions that can do just about almost anything that Salesforce can do. It's not that customizable, but what many of these solutions have found is that there are probably 80% of the things that most small business go through, whether it's e-commerce or direct sales, B2B, B2C, that these solutions can help them optimize workflows, sell more, sell faster, and sell better.
I see. And Monday would fall under one of those CRM solutions, right? And what are your thoughts around that?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've used Monday for myself. I've used it for a few firms that I've supported. And Monday is nice because it's kind of like a simpler version of it's kind of like a glorified Excel worksheet that's interactive, that can integrate with a lot of other apps. It's the closest thing to an Excel. Many folks love Excel, and it's hard to get them away from it because it's so customizable and it's free. And or you have to purchase the solution, but basically Monday allows you to customize dashboards, reporting, insights, workflows, projects. Doesn't matter what industry you're in, monday.com is fully customizable to any type of need that there may be. There are a few things that don't make it from a user experience as easy from a learning curve standpoint, but for internal firm and team collaboration, it's a great solution. If you're looking for things that you want to interact with the customer, where it's a platform that goes kind of two ways, where the team members inside of an organization want to interact with a client, interact with a lead, sell to a lead, et cetera, et cetera. There are other solutions out there, but in my opinion, Monday is a great solution for more internal workflow management.
Okay, I want to stick to this topic and maybe relate it to uh, our audience that is in e-commerce, digital marketing, and maybe take us through the flow of how do you get your leads, or what are some good practices to get those leads? And then obviously the CRM is a database that hosts all these leads. So when we're at 10 leads, it's very easy to keep them at 10. And it's small numbers. So it's like, okay, I have a handful of these. I have communication with each of them. But when it gets to 100, 1,000, 10,000, without a software, it's nearly impossible. So
Yeah.
how does your flow work from the first lead to the 1,000th, and then making sure we're constantly nurturing, building that rapport, the trust with each of them? How does that kind of work with your flow?
Yeah, so I want to take you down two paths, right? So we got path number one, which would be B2C. So this is a business that sells a product. Typically, it's a physical product, maybe on Amazon. And that product could be this mug that has this funny picture on it or whatever. And you're trying to get this mug on the first page of the results when someone says funny coffee mugs, or if we want to use that as an example. So you can create a workflow, or you can create a marketing strategy, or you can hire a marketing agency, digital marketing agency, to help you take care of that. And then you would need maybe a CRM solution that has more B2C or e-commerce specific integrations like Shopify, for you to keep track of how many orders are being taken place, how many views. If you're sending emails to a specific audience, for example, and you want to do an email targeting campaign. So B2C has a little bit more focus on marketing funnels, which would require for you to get in front of the target, some ad spending, and being able to understand the effectiveness of which channels are you using to try to get your mug bought, and what resources are you leveraging to make it the number one search. So it's a little bit more marketing funnel focused, because you're just targeting the ideal client for it, and then you're using things like email campaigns, paid ads, targeted campaigns, digital. You want to maybe partner with a digital marketing agency, and then your CRM, you'd want to integrate with something like a Shopify or other e-commerce solutions. So that's path number one. Path number two is if you are in the e-commerce space, but you're not necessarily a B2C, but you're somewhere in the ecosystem. Like, let's say you are a consultant that wants to help a B2C client sell more mugs, get in front of more clients, do more of that stuff. Well, you as an agency are more of a B2B. You're targeting B2C clients, and a CRM solution is perfect for you, right? So this would be someone that is looking to understand, who am I targeting? Where are my leads coming from? Where am I in each stage? Have I contacted them? Did I email them saying, hey, here's what I do. Would you like to do a complimentary, 15-minute discovery call? They say yes. And you're tracking who said yes, who said no, who read your email. and you're having a visual understanding of what's being effective with the efforts, the outreach efforts you're putting in.
Hmm.
I'll pause to see if you have any follow-up.
Yeah, I was even thinking on if we can go back to the B2C side, if what we're currently doing is we have massive lists of influencers and affiliates that we work with. So we have to track what they're doing, whether they receive the product, whether they collaborated with us on a piece of content on social, and the list can go on those action items. But can we load up our list of affiliates on a CRM and make sure that each of their tasks and to-dos and the follow-ups that our team has to do can be checked off? Is that like, can I load up a list of 10,000 affiliates into the CRM and have
Yeah,
that as a log?
you could. And, you know, if you give me a screen sharing, I could show you a quick demo of a CRM where I could show you like the visual pipeline of that you can build and you can customize, if that would be helpful for
You
our
want to share
conversation.
your screen on it?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
So I'm just going to give
Okay.
you an example of
Let's do it.
Pipedrive, which is a CRM that I leverage. And basically what this does is it allows you to build sort of this visual representation of deals that you're working on. And this is more of a sales funnel. So if you can pretty much, if you've got potential affiliates, let's say, that you want to convert into actual affiliates where they are, but you can also, if these are things that are dependent on activities, you can also track activities and projects using this. But this is more of a sales funnel. So let's say you've got an inbound call with a potential client here. You can add a deal and you could just choose, you know, I'm going to pick you for a moment as my contact, and I'm just going to put Arjun Company. And here's my deal. And I could say, here's what my potential value for this deal would be. Let's say we're going to potentially do $100 deal. I can add what product I am selling to you. And then in what stage am I in? Right now, this is just, we have a call scheduled. We're not there yet anymore. So I think your question was more related to activity management, but this is more towards a sales funnel. Like these are potential partnerships you can create with someone, right? So if you have affiliates in your pipeline you want to keep track of, where are you in the stage of that pipeline? You can add them. And I'm going to skip over some other details here, but and it's going to give me a visual representation. I can create an activity. You know, I can integrate my Zoom. As we move into the world of how do you use other technologies to make life easier for you, you can integrate Zoom. You can integrate your Calendly. There's a calendaring feature in here that the CRM itself can do for you. And so if you had your call and now, you know, there's a meeting that's been confirmed, you move it here, you can create an activity, and that activity could be a call. It could be a meeting. And in that meeting, I could say, I want to make it a video call. And now my Zoom is already integrated. I click on Zoom, it builds it for me, and it taps into my integrated calendar like Gmail or Outlook. And so it shows me if I'm available, if I'm not, who am I seeing? And then it builds it for you. So it's all very integrated. So that's a really nice thing. Again, you can create it as a task. If you wanted it to be a task, create a deadline, make it an email. And so you can identify a lot of things. And many CRMs will do this. I don't want to be in favor just of Pipedrive. I just happen to be someone who likes to pick one CRM and get really good at it rather than be really good at a few CRMs. Same idea. If the proposal's been made, and then right here on the bottom, you can identify, has this deal been won or has it been lost? If it got lost, you can track why it got lost. It didn't respond. You know, the price, we didn't agree on a price. They went with competitor, not ready, not a fit, what have you. And then later you can grab your insights and say, well, I want to know, based on all of this stuff that I am tracking, how many deals have I lost? And what were the reasons? I want to segment. How many did I lose due to the fact that they went to a competitor? How many did I lose because they just didn't respond and never returned a message? They're not ready at the moment, whatever that reason is. So you can, if you get really good at tracking your own activities using a CRM software, the magic happens in the reporting and in the insights, because then you can intelligently slow down, take a look at all of the stuff that you're doing when you're running really, really, really fast, and then have a conversation with yourself or your team to say where I need to prioritize my time, where are my efforts giving me my biggest return on investment, so on and so forth.
Amazing. No, that's wonderful. That's really wonderful. I think majority of people in my industry are using tools like Trello, ClickUp, which are, I guess, more productivity. So all of this goes back to where it's a software solution that organizes things and then shows us reporting and data on where is my focus, where is my effectiveness. It's just understanding ourselves and our organization to be better. I think the e-commerce side is more on the ClickUps and the Trellos because it's task oriented, productivity oriented. But I think something like a Monday Pipedrive can still work with
Yeah,
something as
Monday
basic as
works really well with productivity, equally to Trello. You can build Kanban boards, which is what Trello has. Kanban is exactly what I just showed you in the deal stage, right? Like left to right type of logic. And you can build automations. You can even integrate, and you can tell Monday.com, for example, when we get to this stage, I want you to email this person to let them know that they're responsible to take care of another task. And so that's productivity. What I was showing you was more business to business. So like maybe folks who are trying to get in front of small businesses and they're nurturing these larger ticket stuff, right? That's where a CRM really kicks in.
Amazing. I love it. You touched up on the mission of your companies, the sell better, sell more.
Sell faster.
What's a few examples within Exceed sales that?
Yeah, sure. So thinking about technology, I'll tell you one of the things that I do is exactly what we're doing. I mean, we do some outreach, whether it's social selling, digital selling. I am more of a consultant agency, solopreneur, if you will. But for folks who maybe have a sales force or a team that are trying to build relationships, partnerships, affiliates, whatever that looks like, oftentimes if they don't modernize, the way that they do business, they could stay behind. So using technology like Calendly, being able to accept merchant like Stripe or PayPal, and productizing consulting services so that you can monetize on, being able to share your thinking or your expertise with others. I mean, what I do, for example, is I'm a workflow consultant. So I can't live without Calendly. I can't live without Stripe, because those are my two sources of the majority where my income comes from. I get a lead, the lead comes in, I have my email template, I offer them an introductory call. In the introductory call, I offer my services, and I use a CRM to send them an electronic contract so that they can sign it if we're going to engage. I use Zoom as a technology so that I can present my 3-package option if they want to implement workflow. I use Calendly so that they can self-schedule, which is my personal assistant that's going to do that work for me. I give away, 30 minutes for free. And in those 30 minutes, I rock and roll with the value that I offer. And in the end of that meeting, that's where I offer these, access to these easy ways for them to sign the contract, pay me, and get started, self-schedule for the next call. So what technology has done for me, it has empowered me to be able to, from home, be able to share my expertise, my knowledge with people who need that help. And thanks to some of these workflows and automations and apps, I've been able to accomplish that.
Amazing. No, I love it. Couldn't agree more. I guess segueing into the next question, what luxury has sales, software as service, kind of these tech solutions provided for you now as a small business? It doesn't have to be monetary, but and I guess we kind of even touched on it. Calendly is now your automated personal assistant, and Stripe is your cashier if we're going back in the old days. But I would love your insights on how that's impacted you and helped you as a small business owner.
Yeah, I mean, I think it applies to my same mission. I mean, it helps me sell better and faster, sell more, sell better, and sell faster. If you know,
Mhm.
it saves me the time. I don't have to worry about paperwork. You know, if I write something down in a notepad one day, I left my notepad at home, and then I write another thing down in another notepad. It just makes it really difficult for me. So having a one-stop shop where I can visualize everything that's going on within my business and keep myself accountable to delivering those products and services to my customers um, through a productivity app that tells me, okay, how many projects do I have open? Where do I need to spend my time doing some of this stuff? Can I delegate some of it? Um, it mostly, it saves me time, has given me peace of mind, and it just makes the investment worth it because it allows me to scale. And if I didn't have this and I did this manually, I'd probably be operating at a third of where I am, right? So making that small investment into my personal scheduling assistant and my personal, billing department, which is Stripe and Calendly, has allowed me to possibly triple my production because it just saves me so much time. It automates it for me.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that, and I'm curious on your thoughts around this. So one of my biggest things is to share with people the softwares, solutions, services, new tactics, marketing, sales, otherwise that are helping me and helping other people. But then sometimes there are things that I don't know that I learn, and I'm like, how did I not know this? Like, how did I? Why did it take so long to learn something like this? For example, I've been uh, digging deep into programming, coding, automations, and it's like, like, why wasn't I doing this 5 years ago? How do you, and I'm sure it's the same with you. Maybe there are some crazy softwares out there that is going to 10x the productivity, lead generation, all that. What are some ways you are staying on the cutting edge, on the cusp of newer advances, technologies that can help you?
Yeah, that's a great question, Arjun. I would say that listening to the customers is my biggest way to indicate where I need to spend my time. So if I'm finding myself inside projects and I'm getting a lot of people saying, well, what if, is there a feature that could help me do this, and that? I become obsessed. If I don't know the answer, I become obsessed with figuring out, is there something or someone out there that can figure this out? Or is there a software solution that could do that? And I think listening to customers is the best way to stay ahead and stay in tune with the times. Otherwise, you kind of stay behind. In addition to that, I have to keep my certifications up to date. So I am a certified consultant with some software. And so I have to take a certification every once in a while. So continued education is important. And I'd probably say this is the space that I'm in. I'm in technology. My suggestion would be for folks who are on this podcast and technology is not their strength, or they like it, but they don't have a capacity for it because what they do is they sell funny mugs, or what they do is they're just a specialist in something else. I would say is the only way to do that is you need to, I would strongly encourage that once a year, either champion someone in your team to head the workflow, the technology, the optimization of task delegation and prioritization and time management, and see if it makes sense for you to upgrade some of these solutions. Because the upfront investment, whether it's a couple $1,000 a year, 10 grand a year, whatever that is, that gives you the power to scale your business. It gives you the power to take off stress off of your team from doing redundant tasks or using 10 apps to accomplish the one thing. And so having an expert, a technology expert that can come in and assess, where are you? How much money are you spending? How much is it costing you to do some of these repetitive things? Can we eliminate and optimize the workflow? And then lastly, there needs to be a champion who can take whatever this project would look like, and they need to become a little bit of an expert at knowing it, so that in-house they can service and they can help the team that maybe is struggling to understand how to implement some of these practices. Because one of the biggest fails that happen with companies, people get excited because it's a shiny new object. And then after the shiny new object gets installed, you know, there's 3 or 4 members of the team that are just like, this is too complicated. I give up. They resist. They're not willing to give it a shot. Nobody's championing that product or the implementation. And then all this money in the software and the training, the commitment gets wasted, and only 10-20% of the features get used, to your point. So I think it starts with that.
Amazing. Yeah, my mind's running on that. Again, could dive a lot deeper into that, but for the sake of time and kind of just as introductory to you, what's your guys' goals for the next 12 months?
Yeah, thanks for that. Right now, I am just taking on a whole lot of workflow automation projects with some of the CRM apps that I offer, Pipedrive, Monday, and I focus on accounting firms, helping them in that space. And I have just finished developing a sales course. This is more around sales skills, for mostly for B2B. So individuals that want to grow their book of business for business to business, their sales skills, elevate their mindset, improve their sales process, get more customers, sell more, faster and better. This is the course for them. I'll be launching that online in the next few months. And then the next 12 months, I'm very likely going to be rolling out a community support kind of membership subscription model for the users of some of the CRMs that I support, and which will allow them, just give them access to things when they get stuck, and being able to use the technology. They have kind of an on-demand support and community with like-minded users that want to also move their businesses forward and scale.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. The course or content, training, education, the whole landscape has been changing. It's still changing. It's going to grow more, but just leaving it there without community is like half of the coin. So course plus community, C and C.
Yeah, you got it.
I like that. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate this. How can people connect with you? You're an open book when we speak, and I appreciate that. You know, if people want follow-up questions, I myself, you know, we're in B2C and B2B, so I want to follow up with you more and just dive deeper on some of this stuff. But some of my audience is doing B2B as well. Even within ecom, there's stores. You go into retail, you go into shops, and you have to have a skill to sell, especially if you want to grow bigger in this. And in life in general, you have to know how to sell. So again, how can people connect with you, and what can you kind of help them with?
Yeah, no. Well, first, thank you for having me. Great conversation. Definitely wish everyone that's listening on this podcast to continue success for everyone. And you can get a hold of me if you find any value in what I shared today, and that matches with some things that could help you grow and scale. And Instagram is my main social media platform, and it's at Exceed Sales, all in one word. EXCEED SALES. And then on LinkedIn, you can just type my name, Carlos Garcia, Exceed Sales. You'll find me there. I'm on TikTok as well. And you can email me at carlos@exceedSalesTraining.com. And happy to share any knowledge or support for those who might have some needs around the space that I specialize in.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. I'll leave all those links in the description below. If you guys are interested in connecting with Carlos, I would say, I mean, at least dive deep. Sales is the lifeblood of any organization. You know, the more you sell, the lighter things get. Of course, that's not the only thing. There are foundational elements, but it's very critical. So, yeah, Carlos, thank you so much.
Thank you, Arjun. Thanks, everybody.